speaker is Toastmaster Joseph. The title is Missing Piece. So, Mr. Joseph, please come in.
Can everybody see?
Yes.
In front of you, each one of you has a single piece of a puzzle. Can you guess what the image is that puzzle makes up? What the picture is?
It's a pond.
It's very hard to guess, right? None of you are even close.
Green.
It's impossible to see the big picture from a single puzzle piece. That's exactly what learning a new language is like. When you're learning a new language, you start out by collecting individual puzzle pieces. Those puzzle pieces can be grammar, they can be vocabulary, they can be expressions that you've heard. All of them are individual pieces that will eventually form into something we call language. When you first get your couple of pieces of that puzzle, all you can do is collect them. You can't really set them down because you don't have an idea of what the picture looks like, what the main picture that you're building from that puzzle looks like. What you get is a pile of puzzle pieces just like this. So you're a collector of puzzle pieces when you're first learning a language. It's really cool to see how many puzzle pieces you can collect, but the really satisfying part of learning a language is when you find the place for those puzzle pieces. Finding the place for the puzzle pieces, that's when you hear the word that you heard. That's when you can finally place down that puzzle piece that you've been given. Have you ever had one of those days when you seem to be learning a lot of the new language you're learning? Perhaps it's English for a lot of the Toastmasters here tonight. And you write down in your notebook like many different vocabulary words, and you think, this is very interesting. But until you personally use that puzzle piece, until you personally set it into the puzzle, the bigger puzzle that you're building, it doesn't have any significance. It doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't become your own puzzle piece just yet. It has to become part of the bigger picture. Now, once you start setting those puzzle pieces, eventually you're going to stumble. Eventually you'll get clumsy, and you'll have a day when your self-esteem just plummets and you fall down, all your puzzle pieces spill out in front of you. Those are the days when you can't seem to understand a single conversation that you hear in a language you're learning. I was taking a listening course in Japanese earlier this semester, and there would be conversations that I could literally get maybe 3 or 4 words out of. I had no clue what they were saying. They could have been speaking an entirely different language. And those days were like falling down and spilling my puzzle pieces everywhere. Those days are the ones that you struggle the most with. But those days are also the most important. When you spill out your puzzle pieces in front of you, when you feel like, although you've been collecting pieces for ages, maybe years, maybe decades even, you feel like all that progress is just spilled out in front of you because you can't understand those challenging times, those challenging conversations, those challenging contexts. But when you persist through those, that's the time that you can really shine. According to the Journal of Learning Science, It's those times when you really struggle over a problem that's challenging that you're most likely to retain the information and learn from it. No one really likes that feeling of feeling like they can't understand, but persisting through that, picking back up your pieces, and again, carefully looking at the puzzle that you're building and finding where those pieces can fit, that's what's going to help you the most. That's what's going to really make the difference on whether or not this language becomes a part of you and becomes a skill that you're going to really be able to utilize and incorporate into your life. There's even times when you have an aha moment. And that piece that you found, maybe it was weeks ago, maybe it was months ago, you heard some sort of phrase or some sort of word that didn't make sense at the time, but because you had heard it before, because you had found that piece, you can finally say, aha, place it down in the puzzle, and it becomes the missing piece that you needed. It might have been just an abstract piece, a piece that you have no idea what it means, like the pieces out in front of you. But one day, that will become the missing piece that you need. Every piece that you're collecting for this puzzle that you're building, while there might be gigantic holes in the puzzle that you haven't filled in yet, or there might be piles of pieces that you can't quite find the right place for, each of those puzzle pieces is nourishment. Each of those puzzle pieces adds to your ability to finally use that language. Each of those puzzle pieces is significant. As much as it might feel like just another word that you're never going to hear again, or another expression that you're never going to get a chance to apply, each of those puzzle pieces is nourishment. So that missing piece, that's the nourishment we all need. That's the nourishment that's going to take us to complete our puzzle. And I'm Toastmaster.
Oh.